Wow, Toko, I thought I was awake when I came to sit here, but now I'm really, really awake. Thank you for that very fiery introduction. So I I'm going to try and make things very practical. Well, first off, can everybody hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear
Um,
you, Conrad.
your reactions, okay. So I can now share my screen. So just give me 1 second here. So, hi everyone, my name's Coenraad. I've been a citizen of the internet for 30 years now. That seems unreal that I've been privileged enough and able to use the internet for 30 years. And I think when you do something for that long and you are very curious and you keep asking yourself, how does it work? Why does it work like that? How does it work? And you refuse to take no for an answer and you just keep looking and searching and trying to figure out how it works. You develop quite a fair understanding of how it works. So, Toko, I loved your quote from Descartes, but I think so. Einstein said, if you can't explain it simply, you don't understand it. But then Jacques Derrida said, if things were simple, word would have gotten out. So even things that seem simple are sometimes very abstract or difficult to understand. So that was such a comprehensive overview that Toko just gave us. So how does it relate to us? Like what can you and me do? How does it happen that a big company's data gets breached or that the data gets stolen? Like how does the criminal actually get in? So while sitting here and thinking of how to introduce myself, I came up with this idea. And I found this website. Actually, I've heard about it, but I only found it yesterday. So I just shared a screen. I don't know if anybody can see that. Can
Yes,
I get?
we can see it.
Okay, so what I have here is Dollar Street. So it's a hypothetical street on the internet where everybody lives. So this organization went and took photos and video clips of people all over the world. And I highly recommend you go and look for it, Dollar Street. So the thing to understand about the internet is that it's like a global house. Like it's one big house where everybody in the world lives in a certain sense. And so you might think that you don't have to worry about security because you can't do anything about it, or that like that you don't have anything for anybody to steal, or like, and that because you can't do anything about it and you don't have anything that anybody can take from you, that it's up to other people to do what they have to do to keep you safe. And if there's one thing that I want you to take away from my session here today, is that to understand how your data, how exactly it happens the moment when your data gets stolen, and to also see or realize what you need to pay attention to so that you can realize that you are unsafe and you should maybe try to understand this a bit better, or to find a different way to do what you are trying to do. So, okay. So now let's see if you can pin my, okay, well, okay, let's do this. I'm going to do a short demo. So I've stopped my screen sharing. So now I would like, well, just first to get some interaction going. So I'm very happy to see that we've got so many people here and 2 classrooms. I want to know if anybody here has never ever made any sort of payment using their smartphone or their mobile phone or using the internet. Maybe just by a show of hands, like in the rooms, is there anybody who has never ever used their phone to make any payment? So I'm just seeing static screens, but I'm sure there might be maybe one person, 2 people. If we were talking about this,
we have one Coenraad.
well, so that's
Yeah,
incredible.
Yeah.
I mean, so I mean, in a way, it's a very different kind of life, and it's easy to think that, like, where I am from, I wish that I could go back to a world where you don't have to, where you can do things in person and you don't have to use technology to do it. But the technology makes it so much easier, but in that easier, we also lose some of the social interaction and privacy and security. If you give money to somebody in person, you can immediately see who that person is. You know where you are. You know what you're paying for. And so this is the first important thing to understand about the internet. That your phone is literally a front door that leads into your house and into your life. And the whole world is on the other side of that door. And if you just leave that door slightly open, there are people that are really good at sneaking in or looking through the door. And so, okay, let's say you don't have any money, you don't have anything that can be stolen. Somebody might be able to forge documents with your ID or like of payslips, fake payslips, fake ID. They can go to a bank and they can take out a loan in your name without you even knowing about it. And you don't even know it has happened. Like 2, 3, 4 years later, somebody comes knocking on your door and they say you have to go to court because you owe the bank this money. And you don't know why you're owing the bank money. And the bank says, no, you borrowed all this money from the bank and you never paid it back. So that's a very practical example of the risk of identity theft. And nobody is immune to that. Like there are some criminals that are really good at tricking you into giving them a copy of your ID and all kinds of information about yourself. And every information you give them makes it easier for them to impersonate you or to even sell your data to somebody else who might impersonate you. So let's do this little demo. And I mean, I don't do this for a living. What I do for a living is I teach people how to build internet service providers and how to connect people to the internet. So I literally spent half an hour last night to put this together to see how long it would take me. So let's see. I am going to go to my bank. Can everybody see my screen?
Yes, we can.
My browser. Okay, so I'm going to go to my my bank. Let's start to fnb.co.za. Okay, so what do we see here? It looks like my bank. I don't want them to market to me or anything, so reject all the non-essential cookies. And now I can log in here. But now let's see if you can spot the difference with this page. So the problem is when you get hacked or when your information is stolen, it happens in a way that you don't even know it's happening. Before I continue with the demo, who has, well, first off, the fact, who has never seen a browser warning like this page or like, let's see, or like this page? So these are the two pages. And this is what it looks like when your device and your technology is trying to protect you. So I would like to know from the audience, from everybody, who has never ever seen any of these like warning type pages.
Coenraad, can you repeat that again?
So if you try to go to a site on your phone or you try to load something and it shows you a page that says this is a bad site, don't go there, or it shows you a page that says warning, potential security risk ahead, but then there's a button that you can press that says no, it's fine, I want to go. I want to know who has never ever seen that page.
I've seen it. Who have you guys seen it? Yeah, most of us in duty have experienced that.
Okay, so that happens because enough people have been scammed and have been tricked by this page, that they had suffered huge damages, and then they reported this to the browser makers, like Apple or Mozilla or Google or Microsoft. And then Microsoft puts that site, the name of that site, on a list. And then your browser or your phone checks that list to see if it's one of those sites. And if it is, then it shows you this warning. So for the experts here and the people that work with policy or talk to policymakers, I just have one simple message. And that is to focus on the perception gap. There's a huge perception gap when it comes to what encryption is and how it works. And it's like the problem is that we are leaving this like we are waiting for the browser makers or the big companies to solve this problem. And we are talking to policymakers with technical terms, but many of them don't even understand the basic simple mechanism by which things work and how they can see it. They know how important it is, but they don't know what it really looks like and what the implications are. So, okay, so for the experts, the perception gap. And this is what I'm trying to address here, is to narrow that perception gap, because I'm sure if you want to test whether you understand something, a good exercise is to explain it to somebody else. And if they ask you why or how, and you don't know, to be honest, like, I'm not sure how this works, and then go and read and do research. And even if you don't get it right away, maybe in a week or in a month, when you look at the same thing, you will realize, I get it. Because your subconscious mind is amazing at figuring things out, even in your sleep. You just have to make sure that you expose yourself to information that it can use to figure it out. So, okay. So, and this is the other problem. This is a big problem with technical people. Technical people think that they think that we read, or that if I want to go to a site and I want to download a video, I don't want to read about security or something. if I go to a site where there's a video I want to see or something I want to download, and I get a page that looks like this, most of us, I think, will just push buttons and try to get around it and push whatever button we need to make it work. And then we will watch the video. But there's a reason that that site is on that list, because there's a whole cybersecurity world to explore. So the one thing I want you to take away from this video is what I'm going to show you now. So can anybody see the difference between these two sites? So I have two different websites here. Both are FNB. And both show the same name. So this is now after I've clicked past the warning. So I've already had to click past the warning, and this is what I see, this website. So the problem is most people will not notice the difference. Is there anybody in the audience who can see the difference? Not the people on the Zoom calls directly, but the people in the classrooms. I mean, I'm sure this is up on a big screen somewhere, but if I click between these two, obviously when I click between them, it's easier to spot the difference. But if you are not paying attention, even if you are paying attention, it might be difficult to see the difference.
Oh, Coenraad, you're excluding us, you know. I would have loved to answer that. I'm even smiling here thinking about this this exercise that you're doing. So, but I can't wait to hear from the rest of the audience if they've spotted it already.
So
show the class again.
So there's the one page, yeah, and there's the other one.
You see that?
There's this one and this one.
We've got the answer in DUT.
Okay, let's see at Go Live if anybody there can see the difference. There's the one and there's the other one.
Now I'm excluded. I can't answer. So, but they can tell me an answer, then I will tell you. Is it fine to tell you the answer?
I have an answer from Cape Town as well.
Okay. I mean, it's so subtle. So this is the problem. This is what you see after you like. So this is why this warning, like something like this warning. I think I already accepted this. And now the problem is, if I've accepted it once, my computer remembers it and will always take me there. So this is the problem. Why, if you go past this page, then it's impossible to see. It's very difficult to see the problem. Okay, so what is the problem?
Let's hear from the team in Cape Town.
We have an answer in Cape Town.
Okay.
What are we saying, guys? It's the lock.
It's the lock on the URL thing by the e-plan. This is the
Coenraad, can you share your screen again?
Yes. I'll share it in full screen, actually. Let's do it like this. Is that better?
Yeah. So, what do you say, the lock?
There's a lock on the. I can't see anything.
Coenraad, can you try sharing the screen again? Because it's pulling up a blank on our side.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, okay, let's just look at let's just, I can make my video bigger, I think. Oops.
On
I'm
the
using OBS Studio here. And so it allows me to, so there we go. There's the, so there's the bad side. There's the bad side. Hello.
well, they on the URL, input, there's one has a lock, and like the lock is locked.
Yep.
The padlock is locked, and then the other is not. That's it, encrypted, right?
Well, you know, this is actually a problem, and I'm actually going to take this up with Mozilla, because the lock is it's not, it's still locked, but it just has this little tiny warning sign there.
Yeah.
I think Chrome and Safari shows it in red. So, but the only difference is that little icon there, but both of these, like even the address is correct, like so. And this is another issue, is DNS security. But so now I will show you why this is a problem. So all I did last night, is I went to the right side, to the correct site, and I don't do this for a living. So I mean, I'm not very good at this even, but there are people that have been practicing to do these kinds of things for like years, and they make so much money stealing money from people that they are becoming so good at it, and they can pay other people to do it. So let me show you. Now I have to just make it a bit smaller again. Well, let's just keep it like that. Okay, so here's my computer. So I've got a program running here on my computer to listen to anything that is typed in here. So, okay, so here we go. I'm going to put my username and password in here. First, I'm going to start the program. Okay, so now my web server is listening. So now I'm going to type in here my user and then my password. And then I'm going to click the login button. Let's see what happens. Look at that. And my browser is even asking me if I want to save the login details. Do you want me to do that again? let's go back here. I mean, this looks almost exactly like my banking website, except for that little icon there. So now I'm putting in here my name and my super secret password. And I click the login button. And there, somebody can read it. So now, if you go and try to understand how this works, I think I will do a post for the Internet South Africa website, where I'll post a link to a video that explains all the details, and there's links to more videos that explains. So, but the difference between this website and this one that doesn't have that little error is that whatever I type in here, nobody else can see. If I click login here, all that data is encrypted and nobody else can see it. So let me, for those of you who this might be a bit abstract to, so all the information on the internet flows between devices, like from my phone to your phone. From my phone, it goes to a cell phone tower. And then from that cell phone tower, it goes to a fiber network. from that fiber network, it goes to a data center through a lot of routers. And then from that data center, it goes back to another mobile network provider. And from there, it goes through another fiber connection all the way back to the other mobile tower. And then from that mobile tower, it comes back to your phone. So all of those links, all of those nodes in between are places where criminals or bad employees or somebody who has infiltrated the company can install a device. And on that device, they can do something similar to what I did here on my own computer. It's very difficult to do this on... Sorry.
Coenraad.
Yes.
Can you hear me? You're mute.
Oh my. No, are you saying you can't hear me?
Oh.
Hi, Coenraad. We just
Yes.
wanted to. You got broken away for a moment. You were on mute, so we missed some of what you were saying.
Okay, where was I?
Guys, where was he? We were just discussing. You just closed off to say that Mozilla does not do a good job. Chrome and Firefox does it better.
Oh,
And
wow.
then-
Okay. Okay, so you didn't see the okay, so let's do this one more time. So if you click past a warning page like this, so let's see. If you I have to make it a bit smaller again for you. So if you click past a warning page that looks like this, then it becomes very difficult for you to spot further problems with the website that you're visiting. So if I click past a warning like this, then I can get to a website that looks like this. So this website looks absolutely exactly like the real bank website, but it's a fake bank website. The only difference is the little lock. Now let's see what happens when I put my credentials into the fake website. So, and this can't happen on the real website, but on the fake website, this happens. So there I'm running my little server, and now I can put in my password here that says, let's say, my username and my password. And then I click login, and boom, some hacker, some criminal, some bad employee somewhere has my details. So whatever is typed into the bad website can be stolen. And this is a very practical example of how if you are working for a bank and you click past this warning, they do a lot of things to try and protect you. But if you click past a warning like that, then that is the exact point where some criminal organization gets access to the bank servers, to the bank's details, and that's how customer records get stolen. Just by somebody that's working for a company that's making a small mistake or lapse in judgment and clicks something that or doesn't pay attention to what they are clicking on. So to wrap up, I want to reiterate that it's not about the government or some company or somebody else that needs to solve this problem. It's up to each and every one of us to explain to our friends and the people that we know how like just telling them it's important or it's dangerous is not enough. giving them examples and showing them how the information can get stolen. And it's so, in a way, I think digital literacy, the most important part about digital literacy is to just have a fundamental understanding of computers, what a computer is and how it works. And it doesn't have to be abstract. It can be very straightforward. It's all just messages being passed between different devices. So my most important message to you is try to understand the browser warning. And if you try to get to something, I've been using the internet for 30 years and nobody has ever given me money for free. And I've never won any prizes on the internet, ever. Not once. So if anybody promises you something or they say they're going to give you something, it's a lie. They're trying to trick you and they're going to steal your information. They're going to go and open a bank account in your name. They're going to lie to the bank. They're going to take out a big loan in your name. And when the bank tries to come and get the money from them, they're not going to go to them. They're going to come to you because you had your data stolen. So this is why we are so fired up and hyped up about encryption. And encryption, even to me, after 30 years of using the internet, I struggle to understand some of the encryption technologies. But I can tell you one thing is I understand it a lot better than I did 10 years ago. I understand it a lot better than I did 20 years ago. And I don't think I will be able to come up with a new encryption mechanism, but who knows? Maybe one of you will. And you definitely can. If it's something that you want to study and you can learn to understand.
All right, thank you, Coenraad, for that presentation and demo. And you know, while you're sharing with everybody online, joining us during this Global Encryption Day, you know, it's very important, guys, to keep your browsers up to date, to keep your operating systems up to date, because these are some of the exploits and the loopholes that people use. So by just doing a simple exercise of keeping your browser up to date, keeping your operating system up to date, can somehow stop these attacks from going through. But then again, we must also be conscious of the websites that we visit and the services that we visit. If you feel that something is off, you know what I mean, and you looked at the URL and it looks funny and the padlock there next to the name has a different icon, you know, maybe you can, you know, go back, contact the bank them directly or contact that agency, and, you know, don't dismiss warnings that you see in your browser. And then another thing, you know,
you're right. I want to drive this point home, that the internet is a public space. So the way to think about the internet and what you do on the internet and where you go is wherever on the internet you are, you must think, I'm now in a dangerous place. I'm walking in the middle of the night in the most dangerous part of the most dangerous township on earth. That is where you're walking when you're on the internet. And it's difficult to believe that because there's such nice apps and such nice things that we can do, but that is the reality of where you are when you are browsing the web. There are wonderful people there and wonderful things to find, but just this small thing that you need to be vigilant of and understand to stay safe online.
All right, then. So we're going to open up the floor to questions. If anybody has a question, please feel free to either raise your hand or, you know what I mean, let's just look in the chat if we have any questions there. And I think to all the moderators, Togo, Mondli, Wazanai, maybe can we get a round of questions for Togo, for Coenraad, and then we can move on to the next session after we take those questions.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning. You can introduce yourself and then share your question with us.
Okay, my name is Blessing from Nigeria. So I was trying to do a transaction online. Like there was a website I normally use to help someone organize CVs and all of that. But on 2 occasions, after everything, I wasn't able to pay. Like it kept rejecting the card. And someone was like, be careful online on all these payment sites. So my question is, what are some of the things I can see to be sure that a payment gateway is secure? Or are they signs, are there some things I will see and I will know if the gateway is secure or not? Thank you.
Coenraad or Togo, guys, feel free to take the questions. I mean, provide answers, yes.
Okay, so I mean, so it's actually very difficult to know whether it's safe to put in credit card details on a website, especially when it's a small website. So, you know, anybody can create a shop on the internet. You don't have to go to Takealot or to Amazon or to these big shops. You can create your own website and ask for people's credit card numbers. But one of the main reasons that doesn't work is because most people won't trust your site. So before I would put my credit card details onto a small website, in fact, I will never do that unless it's a website that's fairly large and that is using a credit card company that I know is being used by a lot of other companies and is well regulated. So, for example, in South Africa, many websites use like a company like Payfast. So I can create my own web shop. They don't even exist anymore. They were sold to another company, payfast.co.za. So this is terrible for them to change their name as well. It doesn't build confidence. So it's very the short answer is it's very difficult to know. And so if you are unsure of a website, you must just assume that your details are going to get stolen. If it's a big website that's used by a lot of people and you know other people that use it and nobody has complained, that's sadly the easiest way to find out. And then look for the browser warning and the little lock and the warning that this page is malicious. Those are, you know, security. There's no easy fix to solve all our security problems. It consists of lots of layers. So the first layer is the browser warning. The second layer is to make sure that the lock is there and that there's no other warnings. The third layer is to know that even when everything is secure and everything looks fine, it can still be a bad company. So all the encryption does is it protects the information from you going to the company, but the company can still see the information. So if it's a bad company, they're going to do bad things with that information. So it's very much up to you to phone the company, to speak to them, to speak to their other customers, or what's also useful is to, a lot of companies put fake reviews and fake messages about how good their company is online. But a good exercise is to ask other people online that you know about, or to phone the company to see where the addresses are. I myself have been tricked into sending money to the wrong people, and I phoned them and it looked fine, but I found somebody independent and sent them to go and meet them at their offices and do a video call with me from their offices so that I can be sure that their offices are real and that they really exist and that they are who they say they are. And that is sometimes the lengths you have to go to be able to trust somebody in this global network. I don't know. I'm sure somebody will, and I hope we can come up with some more practical ways of being able to tell. But the lock and the warning page are your, like, is just the first line of defense.
And also we've got another question from the chat. I'll just read it out. It says, thank you, Coenraad and Togo. I wanted to ask how exactly generative AI favors the concepts of surveillance, and what do you think South Africa can do to limit such in terms of regulations? And that's from Sabel. Togo, maybe you can take that one.
Yes, hi.
Hi, Togo.
I'll answer from the other. Let me put it on. Yeah. Generative AI. Sorry, the question. Can you repeat that?
No problem. Sabel is asking to say, I wanted to ask how generative AI favors the concept of surveillance, and what do you think South Africa can do to limit such in terms of regulations?
Okay, so I think the first part is that from a state perspective, the state is on the back end, because whatever AI, whatever technology is coming, people don't ask for government permissions before they bring the technology forward, right? So the government finds out just as much as we, the consumer, find out that this particular information is available online. It's very a country of origination that you find the technology is actually adhering to the legal compliances of that state. So the state, from the state perspective, is at the back end. But also it is important to note that there is from a human perspective, from a civil society perspective, it is important for us to be able to, first and foremost, feed computers with the right type of information. So the starting point is to use the online spaces correctly, use devices correctly, input correct information. You know, if we as the users are feeding a certain idea, for example, there is conflict going on in the Middle East, there's conflict between Palestine, between Israel. We as consumers of the internet are the ones that are feeding the online space with information about this conflict. And it's from there that the AI is able to generate or regenerate information. So the basis of our input and the basis of our user is what is to feed that. And I think that's the base of my argument, that we first have to be appropriate users of the internet. We first have to break the biases. We first have to show the transformation, the digital landscape, digital inclusion. We first have to change the narrative around the internet and around what the internet, what online devices, database sets know about our society, in order for us to be able to change the output of AI. And that includes making the internet multilinguistic, multicultural, multi-religious, multi-sectoral, available in every country, available to whoever wants to use it. And unsurveillanced, information protected and encrypted. Make sure that there's universal, like, you know, if I'm using .com, does everybody who use .com get the same experience that I do? That level of universal acceptance. So it comes to working together. And that involves a multi-stakeholder environment where all different bodies and players are a part of the conversation, with civil society, independent activists, government, private sector, multinational corporations, that these research and initiatives actually get the kind of funding that they need, programs for training, programs for intervention we can give up. So yeah, it definitely, in terms of generative AI, it comes from the user point of view.
Hey, thank you very much, Togo. And on that note, I'd like to thank this session's speakers. Coenraad, thank you very much for that demonstration. Togo, thank you very much on your talk. And I guess I'm going to hand over to you so that you can run us through the session. I hope the team at DUT is also ready because they're up next. Thank you.
Yes, thank you.
Introduce the topic, everybody. Thank you so much, Kodisang, for introducing our day, for starting the panel. We are so grateful to have had your opening, your wise words of wisdom. Thank you, myself and Coenraad, for the